The access media has always been pay to play, and it's always also been a very low bar for what that kind of pay is. The access often is the privilege with these people, and you lose your access if you say the wrong things. We talked about a YouTuber yesterday who actually was forced to take his Star Wars Outlaws video down. But it gets even weirder as some new stuff gets exposed in terms of like what Ubisoft's doing in order to butter up some YouTubers at this point. Again, it's kind of par from the course from what I've found. Most of my experiences are in the comic book media industry. I actually worked for a kind of normie comic book outlet back in the day called Comic Related, and I saw how some of this stuff went down behind the scenes. I was in CBR's Slack chat for a while. Don't tell them. and saw how a lot of this stuff worked as well. And of course, I've been on it on the opposite side of things where I'm basically shut out by the media because I don't just shill for these corporate products. I'm honest about it. And they don't want honesty. They want shill promotion. That's what it comes down to. And that's why places like Kotaku, places like IGN, they get all these exclusive scoops and inside deals and all this stuff. While, of course, places like That Park Place or over here won't get that. And that's, a sad part of the way things work. These media companies are dishonest, and Ubisoft's dishonest, Disney's dishonest. They're all dishonest up the line, and we're going to expose it every step of the way. So please hit the like and subscribe button and join us here as we are doing the work that a lot of these journalists won't. Of course, we appreciate you for being there. I'm also a content creator myself. I made a beautiful graphic novel to combat the mainstream industry. So if you like sci-fi stuff, Star Wars, just some good heroism, this is a really great classic tale you're going to enjoy in The Hidden Emperor. You can support our channel here, support our artistic efforts by backing this today. Grab the complete Ayla Rin Adventures. We are just cranking along with some awesome books for you right here. That link's in the description below. You can see we've already hit 300 backers on the campaign so far. That's a huge success for us, and we appreciate you for being there. Okay. So Ubisoft buttered up YouTubers and influencers with trips to Disneyland, boat tours to promote Star Wars Outlaws. Pretty wild. So they did all this, gave them access to 4 hours of gameplay footage, and then all these YouTubers were supposed to write their reviews and do their YouTube reviews and things like that. We've seen that there's been a lot of like backhanded compliments, just kind of showing that this game is kind of trashy. Even in the way that they're attempting to promote it, they say things like it's a jack of all trades, a master of none. Never a good sign for a game when you got something like that. Very corporate speak stuff because they know that Ubisoft's produced a train wreck here, an ugly train wreck at that. That's not even nice to look at. Yesterday we talked about German YouTuber Cyberpunk 20XX. And he discovered multiple YouTubers and influencers revealed they were influenced by Ubisoft as part of the company's largest marketing campaign ever. Makes sense. They have this is really a quadruple A game, and this has to be a success. It has to be so big. So they're going out there, and they're making sure that the media is saying exactly what they want them to say, right? And so they are going to make sure the media is very, very happy with them. This really reeks of 2014. And if you guys were around back then, like us old people, there was a game that was getting a lot of really good reviews. It was called Depression Quest, and it was by a lady named Zoe Quinn. And, game's a really loose term for what she actually produced. But it was getting great reviews across a bunch of websites, and everybody noticed that's kind of weird. These are all really interesting dudes who are doing this. And it turned out that she buttered up those YouTubers by offering them, some favors and having some relations with them. That was caught, that was exposed. It started a little thing called Gamergate. And what happened when it was exposed was, of course, she complained about harassment in response to people saying, hey, this is really unethical for gaming journalists to be taking these perks in exchange for reviews. We don't like this. And it's kind of the same thing here. I mean, Ubisoft might not be providing that kind of entertainment, but they're providing other kinds of entertainment, providing them experiences, providing them stuff that would cost them a bit. These gaming journalists, some of them aren't even paid. Some of them get such a modest salary that they probably can't even afford to go to Disneyland. So it's a big thing for them. And so you grease the wheels a little bit. You get your review gets a little more positive. And this is how the fake news is made all the time. Now, this is something that apparently happened as this marketing campaign's ever. Biggest one ever is coming out for Star Wars Outlaws. The CEO said, when I look at the guidance for Q2, I assume something similar for the back catalog, 200 to 230 million euros for that sort of range. For the new release of Star Wars Outlaws, when I look at a $70 price tag for the game and assuming what you might get from it, I'm getting around 5 million units, something in that sort of bracket. First of all, where could I be going wrong with that thinking? Second, are you being pretty conservative in your guidance? Because I guess, given the interest in the game, we might have thought it would be more than 5 million units. We can't comment on the very large numbers you are quoting, but we have factored in a strong launch for Star Wars Outlaws that reflects the fact that it's among the most awaited games in the industry this year and really strong positive community sentiment, and a fact that we are coming with the biggest marketing campaign ever so far for an Ubisoft game. So they're paying a lot of money on this stuff. And so flying out YouTubers, giving them pre-access, that's one thing right there. Just that flying out is a big deal. It's thousands of dollars across different YouTubers. And it gives them the access ahead of time so they can feel special already. And then they wine and dine them with a little bit of entertainment. This is a classic sales technique. And when you're trying to sell a product, it's one thing. But this is getting reviews for a product. It's dishonest in that kind of deal. And so it looks like Ubisoft really is just trying to buy off the entire media ahead of time. And really wild. So Kartoffel Koenig on YouTube said, we are with the largest marketing campaign ever for an Ubisoft game. I can definitely confirm the last part, which is I was invited by Ubisoft to come to Los Angeles and play in the Star Wars Outlaws event. The location was really polished up. There was a day in Disneyland and something like that. Ubisoft spent a lot on that. So if they had 1,000 of them out there, and Disneyland, what are $200 tickets? I mean, that's a lot of money to spend on this stuff. That's crazy. So next, Cyberpunk 20XX shared footage from British influencer and YouTuber Louise Julie, who revealed she was brought to LA by Ubisoft early and was taken on a boat tour she claims was originally a whale tour to see if they could spot any whales. Now, international travel is very expensive as well. They've invited a bunch of UK creators who got there early because our flights were booked early, and it was very long travel time. It was like a 12-hour journey. He confirms that Ubisoft was paying for these international and domestic flights. Again, this is hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably in all likelihood. Absolutely crazy. He cites a post from Chewy which states, Ubisoft and Star Wars flew me out to California to play Star Wars Outlaws, interview the game director and lead writer, and meet the cast. I'm beyond grateful for this opportunity. VIP tour of Disneyland tomorrow. Wow. Another individual noting Ubisoft was paid to take these YouTubers and influences as well. Here he is, Chewy Streamer. My gosh. Of course, he's posting pretty happy with Star Wars Outlaws right here, which looks like even that poster. Oh my gosh. You got the wine ant up top. You got the weird black lady there. Oh my gosh. So then Queen Tofu said she was given a plushie. Wow. Had a blast experiencing Star Wars Outlaws preview event for the week. Thank you, Ubisoft, for the Nyx plushie and for flying me out for all the festivities. Look at that. Nice pictures for the camera right there. It's worth a lot for their publicity. And then the HQ said built an epic lightsaber in Galaxy's Edge with fellow Star Wars Outlaws content creators as we explored the park. It was an absolute blast. Wow. And he notes that Louise Julie was denied being paid by Ubisoft to promote the game, despite being flown, given a VIP to Disneyland, taken on whale sighting, being schmoozed. On her video of the event, she pinned the following content. PSA, I was not paid by Ubisoft or anyone else to make this video. I was given the opportunity to record content, fully my own choice to make and share content based on it. The only money I make is from YouTube views. No shilling or hidden agendas involved. But, there's a fine line between that kind of an access, that kind of a flight, and getting paid. I mean, Disneyland, even our taxes, if you look at our American tax code, this is boring topic for a video game video. But, you can write off food, you can write off travel. You can't write off entertainment expenses like Disneyland and things like that. Like they view that as not legitimate business expense. And so it gets pretty interesting here. Another one, Ubisoft invited me for an incredible week in Cali. They know how to party. We played a 4-hour demo of Star Wars Outlaws. I adopted my own little Nyx and hung out with so many amazing people. So it looks like a lot of people had their wheels greased here. And you can't expect honest reviews at all in that situation at all. Now, a lot of the time, a lot of these people are just happy just to get access. I mean, without all the flights, without all this stuff, if Ubisoft would have just sent them demos ahead of time, I'm sure they would have gotten much the same results. That's what it's like in the comic book industry. You get access to early Marvel and DC previews. You get interviews with the creators on their list. But if you're not like one of the approved creators because you don't just say the positive things that Disney, Marvel wants, you get ostracized from the list. I've had friends who have been on the list, and I have friends who have been removed from the list when their content was not just sufficiently shilly for the companies. And with Ubisoft shutting down certain videos by certain content creators on this stuff, which has happened so far because they don't like the narrative out there, and having to have an intermediary third party actually vet the information they put out there before they put it up and demand YouTubers make changes. We did a video on this yesterday. I think there's a lot of dishonesty going on in the video game industry, and we're just scratching the tip of the iceberg. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button, my friends, and please check out The Hidden Emperor. I'm not going to pay you or anything to read it, but please support our channel, support our artistic efforts. We are doing this here. We don't have a giant marketing budget. It's just word of mouth, and it's just the fact that like we love what we're creating. We're quite the opposite of corporate entertainment, and I hope you'll check things out, and I hope we'll earn your backing. Thanks.